Hey there, Commanders. Today we're at Ostwarno, and I'm going to be showing you how to use terrain to take the advantage and push the line against the enemy. I'm coming in here with 4A Alpina. I've got a pretty big group, so their equipment is inexpensive, and it probably makes sense if you can get through without having any enemy heavy tanks in front of you. You can really push the line due to the amount of equipment and support you get. So you'll see I've got a not very good Obi 7513. There's no radios on those. I do have heat shells, so you can use them against tanks, although the heat shells aren't that great. And then I've got some 45 millimeter light mortars, a Panzerschreck, and you can see my layout up here. So mass of trucks heading our way. Ju-85S1 dropping some cluster bombs on it. Let's see what happens. Oh, man, that really saved us from too much stuff being up here. But you can see the enemy's already moved things in quickly, and he's got some elite infantry there. So I've got my Brixa set up here to just ground fire mortars. We really want to try to clear out the hill as fast as we can and dominate it. So I've got auto blend of 43s. These are 15 points. They're going to provide fire support for anyone trying to move forward and get past this opening here. Now, the biggest downside to using 4A Alpina is probably the speed of their vehicles. These Dovanuks are really slow, and it makes it hard to take advantage of your situation. But we'll do our best. These L335s, nobody ever takes them, but they move pretty fast. I mean, look at it. Move about as fast as these trucks do. And in Phase A, I always like to bring in some anti-aircraft. I have these 20 millimeter trucks here, and then recon. So we've got radio coverage that's going to go out pretty far once we get some radio howitzers. So we have actually captured the sector. Very strange. Enemy didn't bring anything in over here. They just wanted to try to go through the town. So that left an opportunity for us. So we're going to get our reconnaissance up here to see what's going on, and then since we're not encountering any enemies, we can keep pushing the line. So M15 42s, I want to say, are 15 points. Now these ones are 20, but there's another one that's 15. So again, some more fire support here to help out, maybe knock out some trucks and shoot at an infantry. Using the light mortar again to fire at the enemy stuff here. The Russian ones are quite a bit better. I think they're 820 or 840 meters. These are only 540. So, and then using the L335 just to hold these guys off. I mean, if they don't have Piats or bazookas, they can't really do much against them unless they're up close, and they're not going to get that close in light woods. Mosquito's coming in, so this is the reason you're going to want to bring in your anti-aircraft. He did drop his bomb there, but we're not going to see him for a while. His fuel tank's leaking, and he also had a wing clipped. So our auto blend has made it down here. Look, we're not encountering anything. I'm going to drive him back into the town. Now, if I had fast trucks, or if I had any teammate support here, we could rush into this town with infantry and hold it, and we're only 4 minutes into Phase A. Unfortunately, I just don't have a whole lot to back him up anti-tank wise, and getting something that far back is going to be really hard. So if you're playing with 2 players, it definitely makes it easier. But look at all he's doing, like World War I style assaults here. I don't think it's really going to work out for him. So our auto blend is back here. I wanted to see if I could drive him up to cut off this reinforcement road, but then there's the one over here. How cool would it be to cut off both roads? Unfortunately, he had a T-70 back here he called in. But not a huge fan of doing those multiple armored car rushes. But again, those auto blendas without recon are only 15 points. So I thought it was worth sacrificing. And I've got my L3s in here now, and then M15 42. So we have sort of overwatch here to see everything's going on. He's going to have an incredibly hard time trying to get back up this hill. And I'm bringing in the artillery up close, these howitzers. Pretty quick to move. I want to get them in a position where they can direct fire because they're really not that accurate and they don't have radios. So moving those up close, they're only 45 points. My M15's in position now. his 20-point tank to start firing at the enemy's infantry on the ground. And we just played the poles. These got to be 20 points, so I wouldn't really sacrifice these guys out in the open. If you're wanting to do an infantry rush, I'd recommend putting down smoke. So we got enemy light tanks coming into where we're at, trying to knock us out. And I've moved my Panzerschreck down here. He did drop bombs on my Alpini, who was going to be here to cut off these trucks coming in, but we'll see what we can do. We've got we got a platoon plus probably maybe a Maxim or something else. M15's continuing to fire to our left here. Panzerschreck's getting in position to fire on these Tetrarchs, and we nail one. Let's see if we can get this other guy. And I think we got him too. So we took out both of his tanks. Our Alpinis, I put at the fallback command. We're not getting fired at yet. These pioneering commanders have Crocano with a magnification, so we can snipe at these guys and suppress them. I'm going to retreat the Panzerschreck so he doesn't get taken out by the infantry. Unfortunately, there's a kind of a big tank for us right now. We've got a Sherman coming in. One of our planes went down to our left there. But I've got the L335 here, and then the two M1542s, and then another L335. So I'm not going to be able to break through here. Now, the L3s are probably vulnerable to the Kazakis, but these have dual machine guns on them, so they can suppress fairly quick. I did get my recon up here. They eventually were spotted, but we've got a Breda and a G43, so I think, well, he's got multiple now, so we're going to have to move our tanks in to prevent him from being wiped out. We really want to keep the recon here. M15 is getting fired on by those PTR D rifles, but that front armor, it's not getting through here. And he's had to call in a ton of stuff, so really there's no worries on the hill at this point. We did lose our reconnaissance team here, which is kind of a bummer because he has a Panzerschreck. T-70 is going to take on our M15. See who wins. So our shooter gets killed. That's not so good. And unfortunately, those 45s load really fast. Got another auto Blinda coming in here, and my Panzerschreck's still here. He's got 4 rounds left. So we managed to knock him out. We really got to keep that guy alive. I'm bringing another auto Blinda, but we got an M10 tank destroyer over here. My 75 howitzers up on the top of the hill, and we've got just an L3, just kind of in case there was an infantry rush. We got Pack 40s up here too, preventing him from making it in. So my auto Blinda's 20 mil is going to do a lot to suppress these guys. My L3 is getting a little scared. I'm pulling them back, but all these guys can support each other, and then we've got the veterancy buff from our commander. So I want to continue trying to get equipment in here. I didn't realize it. I was hoping they'd take the original reinforcement road, but they kept going right. So I think this P-26 gets knocked up at the M10. He does, unfortunately, because that would have been a huge help up here against the other tanks and stuff. But now we've got our mortars up to the top of the hill. We've got a good defense. I've got a Alpini team here with the MG42 defending, got an M15 over here defending, and then we've got our AA trucks. We got all 4 of them out here. Actually had enough points to bring in a commander. So these guys are now double and triple vetted. So make sure to use your leadership. I want to try and take out this M10 because he's going to cut off my reinforcements from their fastest route. So I did drop a help beacon here. And we're less than a minute from the end of Phase A. So my howitzer fire is landing down here in the valley on the enemy's infantry. I really could use some more infantry myself in here. But those guys don't have Piats or anything. We're going to deal with these Tetrarchs. But that's about it. And my recon still can see everything over here. It looks like he's trying to take out this Pack 38. And he's hitting my Alpini. Town Rush actually got into this flag here. But I think all these guys are going to get pushed off. So here comes in the enemy armor. One of our L3 goes down. It's 10 points down. Now we got Paris coming in. Another auto blinde goes down. Panzerschreck gets one off. But the Paris are there to try and wipe him out. Not a bad play. Takes out one man. But we got our auto blinde here. So using that combined arms approach, having the infantry support your tanks and light vehicles, definitely something you need to do. Also having leadership here to make sure they fire faster. I mean, we're pretty deep in enemy territory. Now, the next part here, you know, we made it back originally. I knew we probably weren't going to hold it without a lot of reinforcements, but I'm curious to know, here in Phase B, once you're getting more stuff, how would you make a breakthrough? I would assume, you know, if we had the ability, probably try to use the woods as cover, maybe smoke. So he's smoking now. I'm assuming he's going to try to run across, so I move my Alpini there to stop a rush. And then I move these guys back. I think they had Piats. They might have. So I've got the GNRs moving forward here. Now, they don't have anti-tank, but they have Britas instead of MG42, so they can be used in these woods here. And when they're not moving, they act like a reconnaissance unit, so they can see further. So we can see deep into the enemy zone once we get them up there. I still have this 75 trying to hit the M10. It looks like he fled. Good for us. So not taking any fire from the enemy at the moment, but he's countering the 75. It's always funny to me to see the enemy get frustrated with 45-point artillery. Here comes the enemy rush. MG42 is putting into good use here. And now our L335 is going to be used, and we're going to move up the auto blinde. We've got a recon team here with 3 submachine guns coming in. Wow, it's a big rush. See if we can hold them off. That looks like a pretty good view. Ugh. Osnaz takes out our auto blinde 43. But our commander here is doing a good job of pinning these guys down. Excuse me. So Paris trying to rush in. GNR units will use their Britas. We get one, and we'll see if we can get the rest, because they're double vetted now due to the commander. I've got an AS-42. Make sure you use all your stuff, guys. I mean, this is just a little car that the recon team came in. You can see they're putting some fire down here. Now we've got one man left on the Panzerschreck. We're really going to have to keep him alive because this light tank is going to, you know, put some hurt on us. We don't really have any other anti-tank stuff. I've redirected my mortars on here, and we did knock them out. So Panzerschreck down to 1 round. Nice little squad for us. You can see all the smoking Russians. So unfortunately, we lost our vehicles outside of basically the Jeep, which we can't use on the front line. In reserve, I've got some light vehicles back here. Ooh, oh no, we lost our Panzerschreck, but we finally got some support here from the team, and these guys are moving forward with SVT 40s. Our leader unit here is fully suppressed, unfortunately. Really gonna need another Panzerschreck. I'm having to manually push these guys over here, and in Phase B, we're about halfway through. I brought in 2 of these 100s. These 100s are equipped with radios, so, and I bring them in with ammo carriers, so they can stay in the fight for a long time. And we brought in a 6-pounder and a Sherman. Sherman, pretty good unit for taking us out, because we have nothing up here at the moment to deal with him. My AS-42 needs to fall back. I don't know what I was doing there. So I'm going to use this 45. I moved up one of the light mortars to try and take him out. Let's see if we can drop one on his roof. Looks like he's already damaged. Oh, first shot. So light mortars, guys. Definitely bring these in. They're only 15 points. And you can use them to drop on the roof of tanks and knock them out from behind cover. It's incredibly useful. All right, so I'm bringing in more leadership to boost guys here. We've got a P-2640 who's got 1,750 meters of range, who's going to help cut things off. And he was getting fired on by the 6-pounder. So I brought in an RE 2002. Unfortunately, look at all this AA fire to our left. He gets knocked out of the sky. Man. But that would have been nice just to use the Air Force to knock this guy out and clear the zone. Now, our GNR guy's a little bit hidden right now because he's got tons of stuff coming in. We got some Belgian troops heading our way with Willie Pete, but the Auto Blinda just doing a great job of knocking them out. And then the Bridas and the 4 TZ-45s really killing these guys off. Cromwell takes a shot from our P-26 up here on the hilltop, so always want to use your terrain advantage in this game. Unfortunately, these Cromwell's frontal armor is 70, and these guys can pen 70, so very difficult even up close for these guys to penetrate. But he's retreating. I don't think he has infantry support. He's probably worried about more Panzerfaust. And I was trying to hit him with the light mortar. Again, M15 is knocked out by the Cromwell. So you can tell right here, I'm a little bit bottled up. I really want to try to go across. But enemy artillery, enemy's starting to focus on me. We lost another GNR unit. I was kind of laugh. It's a huge GNR fan growing up. So our 100s are moving into position now. I'm going to move this reinforcement truck away in case they get counter batteried. But they're smaller caliber than other guns, so the automatic counter battery will always go for the larger gun. They would have to manually do a defensive zone fire to hit them. I think there is an AT gun in here. You can see the line moving. Now, in this scenario, what would be really nice would be is if the team would help the breakthrough and possibly send units over here. You could smoke this area, send your units in here. We get some AT guns set up over here, infantry in here, and then we can push into the village back here and make a total breakthrough. But it's very hard to do when it's just sort of you. And I've got these two guys have been trying to keep me pushed back. So we're at an 18-14. Look at this silly rush over here. So he's gotten pushed off and lost a flag. And he's trying to bring in napalm bombers on a Tiger. He's got a Panther and a Tiger in the back too, so strange. Alright, the best unit for tank killing in my deck are the 90mm anti-aircraft guns. These are actually really solid. They just take forever to get the front line, and my 100s blew up the Cromwell because we have radios up here. So the leader doing a great job of extending the range, and then we can get accurate fire on the defensive positions here. I set our recon team to return fire because it's only a 3-man team. I don't need him firing at the Paras who can't see him. And moving our commander over. I want to see if we can use him to fire on any trucks and stuff with a sniper rifle. And now the 90's in place. Look at that. Look at the range we've got from the hilltop. We can get all the way over to that 17-pounder if we have to. And I'm going to continue bringing more of them in. I want to say I get 6. And these M5, this guy's just going to get suppressed because our commander's here too. So almost fully suppressed. We have not lost our P-26. And he's dead. So I'm going to bring in, I feel like we have control of this area now. I'm going to start bringing in MG-42s, Pac 40. We're going to bring in another 90 to set up, and eventually we'll bring in a third 90mm set up on the hill, so we can use this terrain to our advantage. Cromwell is nailed by the 90. So, I mean, look at the clear view we've got up here. Just a terror. So, enemy hitting us after we got him with the sniper rifle. I'm going to have to bring in another leader down here. Hopefully I did that. I can't remember. So we've got a Tiger leader up here too. Using all that 2K range, and then, you know, anything. He can't bring trucks in here anymore. You can see back there. So I've got another leader coming in. We'll give these guys radio and veterancy again. Now, I would like to use the Air Force. The problem is these 100s aren't unless you have radio coverage, they're not great. If you get the radio, they can blow stuff up, but without it, like if you're trying to hit this guy back here, it's going to take forever to hit him. We don't have like 155s, anything like that, to really counter the enemy's anti-aircraft. We need the team to do that. And unfortunately, I didn't have the team doing that in this one. So I tried to move one of these GNR teams over, but it looks like he has a Panther and a T-34 over here. So we're going to redirect our fire on it. And he's got a captured Borg ward coming in. So assuming he wants to try and blow us up. I'm a little bit worried about it. I don't know how much blast they do. It doesn't say on here. Have you guys ever effectively used them before? I've seen them used before, but I didn't find them terribly effective. Now we're in phase C. We're winning by quite a bit. There's no real reason for me to advance other than fun. Oh, the AS-42 is getting into action on these Paras. So we lost an M15-42 to the T-34. We're really trying to take this guy out, but we keep missing. I think they made it pretty hard to hit these just so that people would use them, but our other second 90mm nails them. And so this 90mm can kill everything here. We got a penetration value of 170. So we knock out the Panther, and then we're going to knock out this T-34. This 75 Pac 40 was supposed to be up here so that we could keep advancing into the town. That was my goal, was to bring it in here. We can knock out tanks and then send our infantry across. But I had to bail him out because he was doing that counter. And we have a pretty solid anti-aircraft net here. I did have to bring in a reinforcement truck to keep firing these 90s. But you can see, again, I know I'm stating it multiple times, how useful having the high ground is in this game. Because we even have cover over here. Now, if I could get another one in right there, we could... Are we cutting this off already? We're just out of cutting off that intersection. We are hitting these guys down here. And as I mentioned earlier, I did bring in these Obi 6513s. Nothing's going to come through here. MG42 almost on the front line. Just trying to take out my Pac 40, and we got some Andrusha fire where the first rocket lands directly on our Cannon 90, and there, it looks like there was two of them. The second one takes out our other one, so that's just what's going to happen. But we've got quite a few of these, so we're going to bring in more and put them in the same place. You can't do anything about them except for calling Andrusha fire. There's 6 minutes left. Those things take forever to reload. If he wants to waste it there, that's fine with me because he's never making a breakthrough. My goal is to try and break through to the town. Looks like these Cromwell's probably going to knock out our GNR. He's going to bring in a 380, which, unless he has a huge built-up force to rush in here, huge waste of points. A lot of you guys in these 10 versus 10s, no offense, you guys spend way too much money on artillery instead of trying to cap flags. Like, artillery is obviously useful, but when you're spending half your points on it, kind of a waste. You're not really helping the team that much, especially if you're not counter battering. Because what's happening is if you're not counter-battering, you're spending all that money, your other teammates who are pushing the line are getting nailed by their artillery fire. And if you want to win the match, you got to take their artillery out. So, Pack 40's pinned. Not sure if he's going to make it out. That fire is pretty accurate. Did bring in a couple more because I got like 10 of those. Now this deck isn't perfect, but it works out pretty well. I think in Phase A, if we saw anything, you really got to use cover with the deck build I have. If you want to try it out, I'll put it in the description, because you just got Panzer Shreks and then light/medium tanks to deal with enemy armor. But most of the time you don't experience running into that much heavy armor, and if you're going to play this deck anyways, it's a C-ranked offensive type of deck, so you're not going to have things out in the open. You're going to have to use cover to advance. So I got an Alpina team over here. He's got trucks just sitting there. I don't know if this guy gave up or what. Less than 5 minutes on the tick timer. It's a fairly quick match. We're under 30 minutes in this one. So my 0x65 keeps hitting these guys. And I brought up these P26s. I was going to try and use them to make a breakthrough. Getting close to the action here. Town's complete rubble. Fortunately, our MG42 team's being targeted right now. So we got a Valentine 9 blocking our advance with our P26s. I'm not sure if there's anything else up there. And these guys should be able to go right through the front. But off map, starting to land on us. So if anything's going to do anything, it's going to be the off map hitting us. And we lost one. Where was he at? Oh, he was over here. I was trying to. He's right here. I wanted to advance in the town, and the howitzer from like 2,000 meters nailed us with a high explosive shell, and I blew it up. I was kind of surprised because the armor isn't terrible on that. Here comes those, what, 381s. So we got quite a bit of suppression. I finally got my Alpinis up here to fire at those guys. Everything's pinned down. And big explosion nails our Pack 40 and knocks them out. Our other ones are getting into position though. I've got, what, 4 of them lining up here. Another recon vehicle goes out, and a second off-map coming in. I'm trying to advance through here. At auto blend of 41s, which are the recon model, coming in here to help support my infantry. But I'm not getting any support from the team. Alright, so these guys got scared off by the artillery. And this guy is almost fully suppressed, but he manages to get a penetration. Now, there's only 42 seconds left. I think this would be the point where we can make our breakthrough. Unfortunately, the game's going to end before that happens. Again, I go back to, if you do something different, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, but I think we did a really good job using terrain to keep the enemy from advancing. We helped get this flag back. And overall, it's just fun to use tactics like that and to use these, quote, weaker divisions to take out the enemy. Less than 10 seconds, and the last off-map coming in here. 17-pounder. Let's see what happens here. We're getting fired from the right on a Sherman, too. But it ends, and we have a minor victory after 29 minutes, 22 seconds with 19 objectives. Take a look at how we did. So it's about even. I think some of that's probably from the artillery we took, but look at our Panzer Shrek. Takes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks. So really good use. M15 took out another tank and a commander. L3 took out an airborne leader. Our 45 took out that Pack 75. That was down near the town. So using our indirect fire there. GNR units taking out some paras. Even our recon team getting in on the action. And there's that 45 mil landing on the Sherman. P-26 takes out a Cromwell and an M5. And then our 100s with radios actually did quite well. We took out a ZIS-3, a truck, and a infantry squad, and then a howitzer and a Cromwell with it. 90 mil took out 2 vehicles. It seemed like more. And our 20 millimeter truck took out a Boston. 90 millimeter cannon takes out a Panther and an M5. And then our Pack 40 took out a T-34. And then just some lighter stuff. Loss-wise, Centaurs. So artillery. When we tried to bring things in, the enemy AA net was too strong. These Tripulsons knocked out 2 planes. Let's see, we lost an L-335 and an Auto Blinda to a light tank. Osnaz actually did really well. He took out 3 light vehicles. Let's see, what else? Cromwell took out some stuff. And then the Andrusha is really probably what did the most to us. Hit our resupply truck recon. These 90s, the commander. So that did a lot of points damage. And then at the end, this 380 spam took out some stuff, but it didn't make a difference in the game. So we did 9% of the kills, 10% of everything else. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you do in this one. Put it in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.